Our forum discussion, can we get into that? We
Absolutely.
have time?
Let's do it.
It was about, should married and involved people take relationship advice from single people? So you guys are in relationships. You're married, Marcus J. You're involved, SY. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that single people can give you guys advice, or should?
As long as you're taking that advice from someone that's worthy of giving advice, then I think so, because any relationship, whether it's the single person taking it from a married person or the married person taking it from the single person, it's the outside looking in that can always see where something, may need a little touch up.
Right. Can see something that you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, as a single woman, listening to my single friends, all I hear is a lot of griping and moaning and groaning. We're doing it together, and there's no progress or productivity happening there. So I really, really need you guys, you married, involved people, to help me.
But you know what, though? I think that you can learn from any person. I learn from Mama J every day. 10 years old. I learn from her every day. You know what I mean? And she's 10. She's not in a relationship. But I learn from her every single day. I learn from her on how to love unconditionally, because I see how she looks at me. You know what I mean? And I see how she, worries and takes care of me even as a child.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as someone that, is in a relationship or married, I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility to look at someone who is single and find wisdom, because the truth of the matter is, and this is the realest thing I might say on the subject, single people look at married people as where they want to be, and married people look at single people as where they want to be. I mean, that's just real, because you got a lot of married people who, once they get into the married realm, they find that the fire is gone. It's not there like it used to be. But they remember what it used to be like when they were single. And they see other single people when they go out on, on the, the married date night, and they see the single people holding hands and wrapped up under each other, and they can barely take their eyes off each other, and then here your asses go, and you don't even want to touch, and, you barely even act like you together and all that kind of stuff. And so you can learn from those people that passion that they still have for each other that predates the wedding vows and all that sort of stuff. Well, at the flip side is single people can learn from married people, how to be in a committed relationship. So, I don't know if I'm articulating this the right way, but the truth of the matter is I honestly know that both demographics can and should pay attention to each other and learn from each other. Just because you're married and your friend is single doesn't mean that you can't get wisdom from them. Right. If you assume that they don't know nothing just because they ain't married, then you are missing out on someone that can provide you with the kind of jewel that you need to take your relationship to the next level.
I agree. I totally agree. Can I gripe for a minute?
You always do. So what's the freaking difference?
I'm just gonna go.
So get to griping.
I'm just gonna go ahead and gripe.
I don't care if you gripe. You ain't bothering nobody.
As
you gripe.
a single woman, I feel very frustrated.
Keep your hands up.
In the club, got
Big
my
hand
horse,
up.
do my thing.
Shut up! I'm trying to be serious here, and y'all want to do a little hummus ditty.
Well, in that case, let's get serious. I'm sorry.
As a single woman, and I know social media, call in, write in, or whatever, I know there's other single people out there, particularly single women, who feel the same frustration, that there are married people, involved people who estrange themselves from us and don't want to be around us and give us advice and tips and all of that, because now they're happy. They're in their little relationships, they're married, and they don't want to deal with you no more. And so, as a single woman, I still need that support.
Grab the mic.
I'm not talking about you particularly. Did you take that personally, S.Y. Butler? Did you disappear because of your relationship? Is that what happened? But no, I actually wrote a forum about this. Like, why do married, involved people like close themselves? I think y'all go to communes or something just for married and involved people. Like, is that what y'all do? Like, y'all hide in caves and y'all just don't want to deal with us single people anymore. It's frustrating.
That's not it. See, what happens is
All the single ladies, 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 all the single ladies.
y'all, he's just way too much.
I was just doing the Beyonce bounce.
I'm a mess. That's what I do. All right, listen. I'm gonna
We
let you
was
finish.
dancing
Michelle
together
K.
on the
Michelle K. says she agrees. She agrees
Thank you,
with me.
Michelle.
She's always learning from different things from married and involved friends. She digests the information all the time. Jay Grizzly saying you got to just jump into the pool. The water is just fine. When you say that married people go into a, not your words, but they go into a cave and don't, kind of help out, I just disagree with that.
Okay, tell me what you
I
think. Because I'm
disagree.
just griping.
No, I know you griping. It's cool. That's our relationship. I don't think that we would get along if we wasn't fussing at each other. But I disagree with that simply because,
That's why I really disagree, because she's feeling some kind of way about it.
well, it's just, and
I wasn't talking about you.
as she chews on the hummus-induced vegetables.
It's kind of an angry chew, though.
Michelle K is saying she still hangs around her married and involved friends, and the thing is, if you got a relationship with someone, they're not going to seclude themselves just because they're involved. They're just not. If that's a real person that you have a connection to, it just it is what it is. But a lot of my friends are single people, married, single females, single males. And if they ask me, I will impart wise counsel, but sometimes I ask them questions like really, what's going on with it? I mean, and the truth is,
I asked Marcus questions.
that's why I have very
Y'all in
awesome,
the same commune together.
well, no, we're different. We're very, very different.
I'm really single compared to Marcus. It's because I have a little woody woogie.
Whatever. You're going to make my hummus come up.
Oh dear, you didn't hear that one.
But I guess I just feel this way because I do have a few male friends that kept in touch, but like all the female friends that got married or in relationships, they ghost. Like, we don't hang out. We don't halfway hear from them. Maybe Christmas and New Year's, stuff like that.
I
but
mean, that might be an individual thing. It might be a lady thing. I mean, I can't speak to them. Individuals, But no, I'm good. I just think that you have to know who you're dealing with. If they're real, honest friends, then they're not going to abandon you.
right.
But if there's somebody who is an associate or something like that, then, they just show themselves and who they are by disappearing.
They be like, I'm married now, girl. I don't have no time. I got children and
well,
women
the
hug
other,
me.
the reality behind that is, it is time consuming and your priorities change. If you're someone who makes your friends a priority, then you make your friends a priority. But if you're someone who does not, then those are the people that disappear.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know that I would put too much stock in trying to kick it with them.
Right.
They have taken themselves out of your life. So I
Right.
wouldn't even really worry about kicking it with them. And if they've decided that you're not important enough to kick it with, then I don't know that any advice that they would impart upon you is even worth hearing.
Right. That's true. That's a good way of looking at it.
I mean, so, let them go. Let them kick rocks.
Right. Right. Well, it doesn't even have to be a close friend. Just anybody with a successful relationship. If you could just give me some advice.
I don't think that is
this
accurate. I think you
sucks.
need to knock it off. I think you need to knock that off for real. Because here's the reality. You want to speak freely, I'll speak freely. Just because you're in a relationship don't mean you got to figure it out.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's
successful.
Successful, yeah, but that's bullshit. It just is. People in successful relationships are in successful relationships to people on the outside. They go home, they can't stand her ass and can't stand his ass. They just can't.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's the people who you see disgruntled, that might be good. It's the people that you see smiling that might be bad. You just don't know.
Right.
And it's the people who are single, oftentimes, that are the happiest of everybody. You don't know what nobody's dealing with. And I laid it out that way to make the point that no matter what you think about whoever you thinking about, you probably wrong. Because they're not going to tell you the truth anyway. Because they don't want you you didn't want you in their business. Now they impart upon you what they think is the right way to go about what you dealing with.
Right.
And they might be genuine in their perspective. But, you know, for you to think, and I'm not saying you and specifically, I'm saying you in general, for you to think that because they're in a relationship that you personally perceive as successful, that you're going to get this golden jewel that's going to lead you to this next great relationship that you'll get when you meet that person the next day. That's bullshit, man. It just is.
The next day. Okay.
Yeah, man, that's bullshit. Because the truth is, man, everybody is living day by day. Everybody's living day by day, yo. This dude's going home every single day, taking a long way home from work. Because they know when he get home, he going to hear her shit. And his sisters that sit in the car at work
Crying.
on her iPad because she don't want to go home and cook for somebody who's for somebody who is not going to appreciate the fact that
That was general, right?
I'm just yeah, of course I'm speaking general, but I'm just saying she's sitting in the car because she don't want to go home to cook for somebody who is not going to be, you know, accepting and responsive and someone that, you know, appreciates what she's doing. And so I laid out those two analogies, one for the male, one for the female, to say that just because you with someone don't mean it's great. Don't mean it's good. It just means that you there. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not good relationships, but someone who is not in that relationship does not know that.
Right.
And you can get wisdom from any person regardless of what their situation is. That's ultimately the point. I said in a big ass circle. Ultimately, my point is you can get wisdom from anybody. It doesn't matter their situation.
Okay. All right.
But you ain't said nothing.
I said that already.
But you ain't said nothing.
And it only took a minute.
So speak your mind.
I did.
Speak it again.
You heard me.
This is radio. What we do on radio is we talk. We don't sit and make faces at the people across the table.
You heard what I said.
Butler.
Marcus Johnson.
See, really? You're going to just go ahead
You're
and put
fool,
you're
okay?
just going ahead and put the government out?
You heard what I said.
I mean, I'm just saying, what if they out for me? Like, seriously, now you done gave out the
Listen,
whole government
They
and
got to get
everything?
through me.
Oh, she still love me, y'all. Yeah.
And after all that good, healthy, gaseous food I just ate, they don't even want to come close.
Yo, she, as Grizzy would say, she crushed the greenery in the hummus. All right, what you got?
What?
Nothing. All right, Diva.
Okay, you know, I know y'all were speaking generally, but it's not so much sometimes when things happen, like certain friends don't come around for whatever reason. Like Marcus did bring mention to, priorities change.
Right.
There's a different order. Maybe you don't have as much time, and because the priorities change, everything can't be met. Doesn't mean that the relationship has to be sacrificed that you have with your friends, quotes, right? There still should be some type of quality time that's given. It is true that, you know, the men take the long way home when they don't want to go home and hear her nagging and complaining. And this again comes in when you want to pick your battles. Everything is not worth a fight, you know. And if you don't pick them carefully and you make everything a fight, not only is it going to take him a half an hour to get home when it usually takes him about 10 minutes, he might have to take the expressway because there was an accident on his route home, and now it's going to take him an hour to get home, if not more. And if it's going to take him more than an hour to get home, you know you have a serious problem. You know that the problem is definitely out of hand. It's out of control. And I sit in my car and I use my iPad not because I don't want to go home and cook for anyone, because they like it when I cook. Okay? But I like to sit and I like to have my my quiet time. Now, when I don't want to go home, Lord, there's nothing like overtime, because I will do it until it drips dry. And I will take the long way home, too. I've taken the long way home for almost a year at one point. I just didn't want to be home. Just didn't want to go.
Well, you still need your independence, your me time,
Mm-hmm.
even in
So,
a relationship.
You know, you gotta think those things out. You know, when I don't know the saying exactly, but people are in your life for a reason or a season or something like that. It stands true in every aspect of your life. One way, shape, or form, it is true. Some people, you know, they come in for a second. Pay attention to the lesson
Right.
that they came to give, no matter how quick it is, no matter if what happened was directly related to you or not. There is a message.
Mm-hmm.
There is a message. You just need to pay attention. I wouldn't worry about certain things. You still have people in your circle, no matter what. So whether it's a single person or a married person, if you feel like you've been abandoned in some way, shape, or form, there are people still in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that you need to take advantage of. Those are the people that you need to drain for whatever you can, because these are the people that are there for you.
Right.
So these are the people that let you use them, so to speak.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
you know, squeeze it for all it is. You know, get whatever you can, and it works. It really works.
Right. I agree. I squeeze Marcus J's brain all the time.
Well, I
Yeah.
squeezed his brain a little bit one night. I couldn't get too much out of it, but I took what I got.
A little bit of juice came out.
A little bit.
I'm smart. And I know this because I tell myself that I'm smart.
Well, as long as you believe it, then you're fine.
I don't believe nothing. I know. You either know or you don't know. People that believe
If you
can
know
be,
something, you
people that
believe it,
believe
don't
can
you?
be misled.
Okay, I was just checking.
Jay Grizzly says gas is too high to take the long way home. Take your ass home.
Turn that car
He
off.
said, take your ass home and lock yourself in the bathroom. And shit. That's what you do. You don't have Steppin Marcus J. 804-402-2893
Come on, y'all, call up.
is the number to dial to be down with us tonight. You know, it is what it is. And Michelle K says she's agreeing with me. They may appear to be happy, but could be going through hell behind closed doors.
Can somebody call and take me up on the challenge? Triple decker double swear dare ya to call up and take me up on my challenge. And I'm gonna say this so you get it. 804-402
Uh-oh.
2893. Call me. I dare ya. Chicken.
Double dog there.
Double dog dare.
I mean, hold on. Can we go back to the whole thing about squeezing my brain and getting a little
No, we
bit
passed
out?
that.
Listen, that was not even,
Like,
like
Getting a little bit
a drip of.
for real though.
Yeah, we might want to just let that roll.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
We gotta keep it moving.
You were better
Yeah.
off, making like you was gonna go to New Jersey and beat up a couple of people with the spinach thing. Yeah, you might wanna.
For real.
Going with that one.
People like me, yo.
We like you.
Y'all may not like me though, but people like me. Like
We like you.
Like the dude that be in my mirror every morning. Like
Yeah.
he tells me like really cool things about
And who
myself.
else is gonna tell you if he doesn't?
Nah, he's a nice
Oh,
guy.
that's right.
It's important when he speaks to you, isn't it? It's
Well,
important when he tells you
we talk
that
every
you're
day.
great.
Yeah.
You know.
He's a funny looking guy. He wears glasses, just
Yeah,
like
well,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a little fun looking.
Yeah, he is.
Tweet tweet.
Diva.
Hey, mommy's doing well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
She's
mommy.
doing much better.
Yeah, I know when we were here last week when you had the cell phone on the boob,
Mm-hmm.
waiting
was a
for it to.
little-
She had the cell phone on the boob. Like
was
the
like-
pocket right on the boob.
Like,
Oh,
who's calling me? Do it again.
And I was going to text her just, to help her out.
Vibration.
Just to help her out. I don't know what she goes through when she leaves here. It's my sister. I want her to feel good.
Saturday, my butt cheeks was vibrating. I was like, whoa, what's going
Just text
on?
her. You know what I'm saying? Then she look at that joint and she look, it's from me and it says, hey, with a whole bunch of A's in that joint.
But y'all know we had a discussion some months ago on the sciatic nerve.
Yes, we did.
And my mom is suffering from damage to her sciatic nerve.
Yeah.
And my mama don't really
Sexy C.
cry for much, but she said it broke her down. And this was a week. And as of today, she's home, but she is still in pain. And, you know, medication just doesn't seem to work. And they told her it may take a couple of weeks before the pain really goes away. And they're not kidding. But she's good. She's able to get up. She actually could not walk. Last week, she said the pain was so bad she could not walk. And it took me the longest time to get home last week Monday because the chick wasn't answering the phone. And I really don't care. It's 2 shakes of a lamb's tail if you're in the hospital or not. When I rings your phone, answer it because I start freaking out. And I'm calling. I figured the lady would go to the closest hospital. So here I am calling all the hospitals in Jamaica, Queens, for all my Queens, New York people. But they was like she wasn't there. This chick went to Long Island. She said they're not going to kill me in Queens.
Right.
But she's doing good. I'm glad, Mama.
Glad to hear it.
I'm glad.
And, you know, I have Steppin Marcus J 804-402-2893 live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. We are in the Diva Diaries segment here on Legacy Internet Radio. You know, I have Steppin Marcus J, the flagship show. We got one more question that we're going to ask our listeners. 804-402-2893 is the number to dial if you want to hit us up in social media. The social media continue to do so. Dating Pool Diva is going to ask one more question. We're going to round table it, and then we will get out of this segment. Dating Pool Diva, what you got?
This is a topic out of my Love Revolution Dating Pool blog book, the first one, and it states, "It's no secret that men and women of all cultures, backgrounds, and ethnicities are at war with one another. It's evident in our music, television, movies, etc. Not to mention the daily conversations that men and women have about members of the opposite sex or gender. How do we reach a truce? What should be done individually and socially to bring about change?" S.Y.?
Well, the hard part is going to be getting the men and the women to at least sit down and listen. That's going to be the hard part. So we need to discuss what it is and why it is that we are at each other's throats. You know, what's making us compete against each other instead of loving each other. So then after you get a few of us to sit down, you need us to help spread it. And once we spread it and it spreads like the plague, then we can sit peacefully, then we can love peacefully. Then we don't have to fight or go against each other. And I think, again, you know, the hard part is going to be getting each of us to sit down and just listen to the other one.
What do you think, Marcus?
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I think that we have to acknowledge and understand that as men and women, we think different, our goals are different, our methods are different, and we need to understand that. I think too often we as men expect women to just know what we want or what we need. I think too often women expect men to just know what their thought process is and how they think and what they need. I think we need to take time to talk to each other and share with each other and build with each other and try to understand each other, and sometimes get mad at each other, but know that we are doing this with love and our methods are just different. Our love might be the same, our ultimate need might be the same, but our methods are different. And I think too often we get so caught up in thinking that our shit don't stink, our way is right, and we are so steadfast in refusing to acknowledge the other party and apologize when we're wrong that we create a climate for dissension. And, you know, sometimes we sabotage ourselves. You know, some folks say block your blessings. Like, we do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so I think, Diva, you mentioned earlier the book, The 5 Love Languages. I read that book like twice. You know what I mean? You know, Dr. Ron Elmore wrote a book called How to Love a Black Man. He also wrote a book called How to Love a Black Woman. I read both them books, you know, and I think all three of those books are very necessary because it helps you understand that as a man, she don't want to watch the game. She just don't want to watch the game. You know, if you find one that does, then great. But generally, she does not want to watch the game. Okay?
I don't think you guys want us to watch the game, do you?
Understand where I'm going with this. The point I'm making is what you want as a man is different than what she wants as a woman. I want you to watch me personally, I want to share that with you. I want you to watch the game. I don't want you to ask me a dumbass question. I want you to understand that a home run is not the same as a touchdown. Yeah, I want you to watch the game and be there with me. But fellas, she might want you to go shopping with her and not bitch the whole time. You know what I mean? Hold the bag, pay for what she wants, and not give her no grief about it. You know what I mean? Like, so I think if we understand each other's needs, which we're all miserable at doing, and I'm not sitting here saying this like I got it figured out. I understand it. I have difficulty in practice like the next guy does. If we understand what each other's ultimate goal is, I think we can move towards some sort of resolution and harmony. But the problem is men are selfish and women are selfish, and we want our way, and we want it to be our way, and we don't want to give you your way. That's ultimately what the deal is. You got to get past that, man. That shit is childish. It's immature. Now, I can sit here and tell you this.
Right.
Because intellectually, I know better. But in practice, I struggle with it just like you struggle with it, Diva, just like you struggle with it, SY, just like Grizzy struggles with it, Joy, Sid, and everybody else that's listening to us right now. We all struggle with this. But intellectually, we know better. So what we going to do?
Right, I agree. You have to talk about it. You have to be able to talk about it. I was saying earlier that it's not just a physical war per se. It could be like a Cold War where you just breaking down in communication. You just refusing to talk to each other. I mean, as a single woman, I go to many spots, lounges and restaurants and clubs, and I'll watch a circle of men together, a circle of women together on opposite ends of the room, and nobody interacts with each other except for that circle. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And it'll go like that almost the whole night until it's almost time to go and exchange numbers. And usually, you know what that's about, you know, exchanging the numbers at the end of the night, but nobody talks in between.
No.
It's like, really, you came here to talk to your boys? You came here to talk to your girls?
No.
Really?
No. Because
Could have went to the mall and did that?
you know what it is? I'm going to tell you what happened. I ain't a woman, but I know what she did. She got dressed up. She smelled good. She got dressed up so that she can go to the club, the bar, wherever she was going to attract a man. And then when the man approaches her, she turns her nose up at him because he approached her and said something that she didn't like. You know what happened with the dude? He went to the club and told all his boys about how he was going to go and find him a pretty girl. He didn't say it like that, but that's what he intended to do. And then he went and approached her in an inappropriate way. And he went and told his boys that she was the B word. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to approach each other. We don't know how to love on each other. We don't know how to respect each other. None of that stuff.
And perception is everything.
And perception is everything. But the truth of the matter is, we are wrong. But so are y'all.
Right.
We need to acknowledge that. Everybody needs to acknowledge their part in this discourse. Because if we spend so much time as men pointing the fingers at y'all, we already done lost the battle. Because we have not acknowledged that we are part of the problem. And the same goes for y'all. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the essence of what the question was that you just asked. How do we get to some sort of harmony? We get to harmony by being humble and saying that I'm just as messed up as you are and laughing about it in the beginning. And once you laugh, what does laughter do? It disarms you. And once you're disarmed, then you can move towards having a fun, fair dialogue. And once you do that, who knows what happens?
Well, back to being humble, you have to trust a person to a certain degree to open yourself up to be humble. And if you've been hurt a lot, what were you getting ready to say?
No, I'm just saying that's after the laughter. You've got to put the gates down for any of that to take place. So I think that's where the laughter comes in. And once we get there, you know, we laugh a little bit more, and we laugh a little bit more, and we feel a little
more
different. You feel more comfortable with that person, and then we can exchange more information, more personal information, and we just become relaxed with one another.
Right.
I mean, you have to, I agree, you do have to, you know, when you laugh, it all goes away. It all goes away, and we know that now. Even if we argue with our spouses or anyone, a friend, anyone, and you get upset, you know, you're being defensive. And as soon as something comes back around that makes you laugh with that person, it's like a fresh air, and it all goes away. I mean, unless you're one for just being a stickler, like holding a grudge, which we're not discussing holding a grudge, but then it goes away, and the wall breaks down a little bit more. So I think that's all it takes.
And that's what the love revolution is all about. See how I came around in circle with it?
It always comes.
She tricked me. She tricked me.
That's what it's all about. It's about breaking down walls. It's about laughing. It's about having a good time. It's about trusting each other for the moment. And it's about communicating.
I can dig it.
All of that.
Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J. I appreciate
I
it.
can dig it. You can dig it. We can dig it.
We
I'm
all
sorry.
can dig it. No, it's good, man, because, you know, it's not very often you guys get me to open up and share the things that I was sharing. But truth of the matter is, man, it's a big deal. This is the reason why I love Dating Pool Diva. You know, she's my little sister who's only
Love you
like
too.
27 days younger than me. So I still call her
God, I'm gonna
my
puke.
little sister because I pick on her like a real sister, and she gets mad at me and makes mean faces with me, but I don't really care. It's kind
Like
of
a
her
real brother.
problem. Yeah, it's her problem. You know, I mean, that's just.
Don't worry, we're gonna go out and
it's
get that itching powder.
It's
Okay?
just what I do.
Like a real
You know,
brother.
but in all seriousness, the reason why I love the Love Revolution forums,
You got it.
the reason why I love it is because we all can speak freely and we can say, you know what, I can't stand chicks and how they act, but I still love y'all. And y'all can say, dudes, y'all suck, man. How y'all gonna stand in the club and not even come talk to us? And when you do, you act like jackasses. But I still love you. You know what I mean? Like,
And I say that all the time.
well, I mean,
I mean, it's true. It
Yeah.
really is true.
yeah, man. And this is the reason why I love it, because we can have the conversation where we agree to disagree and we're not disagreeable. And we get to a point where we realize that everybody is culpable. That's what I love about it. That's what I love about the connection that we have with us personally and with us and our organizations. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Before we take a break, I want to acknowledge the passing of a hip-hop legend, my man DJ Easy Rock, who is part of the group Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. They had one of the best songs in the history of hip-hop, It Takes Two, which I remember that song came out in 1988. I was a freshman at Academic High School in Jersey City, New Jersey. I remember when that song came out, we used to play it every single day. We used to try to do the little corny dance that Rob Bass did in the video. And every time we thought about that song in subsequent years, you know, it always seemed to come on at weird times and commercials and television. And, you know, we would go to a club and it would come on at like the weirdest time, you know, and that song provided a whole lot of joy and fun. And in the early days of hip hop, you always had the prominence of DJs that were given a lot of props, which you don't get in today's world. And I don't think that you can have hip hop without having a DJ. And DJ Easy Rock was one of the people who was a pioneer on one of the biggest songs in hip hop history. So we're gonna play a promo, and when we come back, we're gonna play a promo. We're gonna play a song that gives homage to the hip hop community and to that brother. Rest in peace, DJ Easy Rock. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. SY Dating Pool Diva, Marcus J. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Be back in a few minutes. Thanks for staying with us.